But something that it has been frustrating me. So I work with Suz and Laura. So Suz Rostron and Laura, and I've just seen so much nasty stuff flying around about them. And one thing has to do with a feud, I think, that I know nothing of, really, that happened a long time ago. And Suz is now releasing videos um, explaining what happened. Because I guess this stuff gets brought up and brought up and brought up. And so that's fine. And so there's that. That's one thing that they deal with. Um, but another thing they deal with is the fact that now they're associated with me, right? And my huge crime was that I made videos saying that the Basic Lords were a good band, and then I actually read a bunch of books and I said, yeah, they played on their albums except here and here. And that is very offensive to certain people. And one group of people disappeared in the beginning. They had their say and then they disappeared. But then another group of people just keep coming back. And typically, I was getting private messages that I was not keen on, but like, whatever, I'm not going to make a video about that because that's hearsay. Like, you can say whatever you want in a private message, I guess, right? But then the stuff started to get posted on my videos, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're libeling the band and doing it publicly. You're publishing these comments. And Suz and Laura got involved as well. They're like, no, this is totally untrue. Like, you've no evidence of this, that the band didn't play. And so now they're kind of lumped in with me. And there is this group that is hell-bent that Woody, Eric, Derek, Alan did not play. I guess Ian did not play in the first 4 albums, right? And they're just so hell-bent on this. And I keep hearing from them. And I get upset. And then I make videos. And it makes things worse, obviously. But I've had discussions with people about this, which is like, should I just ignore it and not say anything? And these like, but what it really came down to is, if what I'm saying is the truth from what I have read, I'm not doing anything wrong. And if anyone wants to be vile in their comments and start attacking me, that is entirely on them, and it's not my problem. And I don't have any guilty feelings about that, right? But I think Suz and Laura are dragged into that because they're associated with me. And, the thing is, there's a small group of people that their aim is to defame the Bay City Rollers and to say that they didn't play on anything until it's a game. I didn't realize just how serious these people are about this, even with all of the books that have been published, right? And then there's comments about that, like they weren't good musicians and stuff like that. And lots of people have said that. I have my opinions about who was great at the beginning, who maybe wasn't, how they progressed, But what does it matter? We love their albums. But my point is, Suz and Laura get dragged into this, and I'm seeing more and more stuff attacking them, which I think is very, very sad, because I want to explain my working relationship with Suz and Laura. So when I made my first video, there were groups of people that are very much trying to defame the Bay City Rollers and say that they didn't play on anything up until it's a game. I don't know where all this started. It's hearsay. I think unless someone posted, well, yes, the person did post on my channel saying that Les had said this, right? Okay, so that appears to be the source here. So Les, off the record, certainly not in his book, according to these people, so this is hearsay, said that nobody played. Do I believe that he said that? Well, I do know that he had that article in the Mail trying to say that Woody never played. But when you read between the lines, you can see what he's saying is he didn't play on the same stuff that the other people didn't play. Plus, he wasn't in the band when the original Remember was recorded. So, of course, he didn't play on that, right? So it was a red herring. Yeah, so where am I going with this? Yeah, so it looks like that's the where this all starts, right? And so there's a certain group of people that believe what Les said, even though in his book he says something completely different, that are hell-bent on defaming the band. And they're now hell-bent on trying to destroy Suz and Laura because they, like me, have read the books and we believe what Alan wrote in his book, and we believe what Les wrote in his book, you know? And we believe the interviews with like engineers and stuff in the other books that I have. So yeah, it's very serious in the sense that this is something that I thought was just like ridiculous. But it's obviously a very serious, concerted effort to defame the band. And anyone who is going to step up and say anything different is going to be attacked, and they are going to be defamed as well. And it's very, very sad that it's come to this. But I guess not surprising. See, I'm new to everything. Everyone else has a history, and they've seen all the crap that's gone on. Why? Because it's a band, and as we're all learning from this band, and we've seen from all other bands, it's an absolute nightmare being in a band, and everyone gets ripped off and their lives are destroyed. That's why. And the pain runs deep. The pain runs very deep amongst every single person, right? And in that sense, I don't know why I would even talk about it, right? Let it be. But then, unfortunately, the reality is I see the people I work with being attacked. So yeah, I wanted to talk about. So there were these groups after my first video. Oh my God, this coffee's good. Mocha pot. Yeah, all these people, there were groups of people, and two groups were attacking the Bay City Rollers. And these are like fan groups. These aren't like people that hated the Bay City Rollers. But then there was this other group of people that came along, and Suz was one of those people. And she asked if I'd like to do a guest DJ, because they have guest DJ spots on their radio show. Excuse me. And she also mentioned, you know, certain books that I could read, because I was feeling uncertain after all these people are like, oh, they didn't play. What are you talking about, you nut? And so I started doing the research, and it's thanks to them, right? But the thing is, Suz and Laura are very much like me in the sense that they love the band, and they have respect for the band, and they don't like people telling what I think are lies about the band, right? And so I did the spot with them, and it was great. And I also joined their listening group and stuff like that. And everyone in there is great, right? And a lot of these people have known each other for decades, right? And then, you know, we started doing this monthly thing now where I'm a guest DJ once a month. But I've always said to them, if there's something more important, you know, you can skip me, because I'm sure people are sick of hearing from me, right? And that may happen, but right now we're doing it once a month. And what I want to say about Suz and Laura is that they are two of the most professional people I've ever dealt with. Like, they're very, like, Laura cracks me up, because something she says a lot is, well, I was doing my homework on this, and you can hear that she's like writing on like a piece of paper and stuff. because that's the kind of person she is. She's like, oh, these are the songs you chose. Okay, I'm going to do my research on these. I'm going to listen to all of them. I'm going to make notes and stuff like that. And it's just, and I do the same thing, I guess. But she just seems to be very professional in how she conducts herself, and Suz seems to be as well. So my experience in working with them is that first of all, I know there's a bunch of stuff that goes on in all the other groups. I stay mostly in Bay City Rollers Army. The reason is I believe that sunlight is the best detergent, and it's an open group and everyone can see things there. And I've noticed certain people will say things to me that in the group they won't actually say it, because everyone can see what they're saying, right? So it's a good thing. But I know that there are these other groups where there's stuff going on all the time, and I don't know what that stuff is that's going on all the time. But the nice thing is Suz and Laura don't drag me into it. You know, like I know something's going on somewhere. I don't know what it is, and they don't burden me with any of this stuff, you know. So when I get upset, it's not because they've said anything to me. It's because I'll be somewhere and I'll see a hateful message about Laura, or I'll see a hateful message about Suz, and I'm like, and there's nothing in the message that is any evidence of anything of these people being anything other than professional, right? But people act like that. So I want people to know that if you see stuff flying around about Suz and Laura, there's the old thing, and you can go to Suz's personal channel and listen about that, because I don't really have the information, right? But as far as the new stuff goes, I think what's happened is their association with me and their failure to say that the Rollers didn't play on their albums has made them a target, because they're standing up against, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the end goal is to defame the Bay City Rollers. No one benefits from it. If anyone thinks they're going to benefit from it, it's kind of like the Saturday night thing. It's like, this is important. But the benefits at the end of this, other than getting the truth out there, right, which is important, like I said, when you get accountants involved and stuff like that, there's that's where we all know where all the money goes. Yeah, so I think that's all what I'm saying. If you see stuff about them flying around, that's new, it's related to the fact that they're associated with me. I believe that the band was good. I believe that the band played, because I've read all of these books by different band members, and then interviews with engineers and stuff like that. Yeah, so I feel bad that I'm putting that burden on them, because they're not putting any burden on me, right? So I thought I should say this so that people are aware. Like, the whole thing started to boil up on my channel when someone was on the channel saying that Woody, Derek, etc. did not play on the first 4 albums. And unfortunately, Suz and Laura also got involved and said they certainly did, and wanted evidence, and they are in the bad books now, okay, along with me. The difference is, my channel, I purposefully, well, I don't even know if I could. I don't make any money off it, right? It's not the irony is, if any money is made off my channel, it actually goes to the Bay City Rollers with my covers, right? Google, if they put ads on that, they take the ads and then because it's copyrighted. Like, it's copyrighted and available for use, which means they'll put ads on it and they'll send the money off, right? I get nothing, right? I've got nothing in this game, right? But Suz and Laura have been running events for quite some time, and they do have something. And the thing is, they also have a lot of people that depend on them for these events, right? That they look forward to. And so there are a lot of people involved, And there are a lot of people that could potentially get hurt when there's innuendo flying around about something but no evidence of anything, right? And I'm quite sick of hearing about it. And I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. But anyway, I'm going to stay in Bay City Rollers Army. I've been in other groups that are private, and I found out the hard way that admins are lying in some of these groups and spreading vicious rumors about people. And they're doing it because it's a private group and they kick out anyone that disagrees, right? I'm staying in Bay City Rollers Army. But the admins in Bay City Rollers Army have had enough, and they don't want any of these feuds. So I won't be putting this video in there. And I don't blame them. But, you know, what it really came down to was light, you know, sunlight's the best detergent. Like, of course, it would have made sense in the past when everything was going ballistic that I would post something in there. And then people can publicly, if they want to challenge, they can challenge under the sunlight. Right? And they can challenge using facts. And if they don't use facts and they're just challenge and insulting, then I block them. And I have every right to do that. But it was coming at the expense of that group. So I'm done with it, you know, as far as getting involved in it in that way. But having said that, Bay City Rollers Army is a fantastic group. And we are very fortunate to have it. So let's not ruin that, right? So I think that's it for this video. Seeing the stuff that's being said about Suz and Laura, you know, there are people that really want to destroy the Bay City Rollers community. These guys have been doing this work for so long, and people have been so happy, and they've gone to so many of their events. And that anyone associated with the Bay City Rollers would continue to go after them and try to defame them. To me, with the knowledge I have from working with them, is really bad for the brand. So I hope that stops, but I also hope that if people are attacking either way, in that sense, like these are vile messages. And yeah, well, let's hope that I think things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. But let me go back to the very first video that I made, and where I stated every member of the band was important at the time that they were in the band. You know, and the only reason I'll get pissed off is when a member of the band is attacking other members of the band. I didn't really say it, but I was extremely pissed off with Les with regards to that news article. That hurt the band's image. It brought up old wounds that have been dealt with even in his own book. So I do get pissed off because let's try not to defame members of the band. Like, I don't understand the purpose. Anyway, so this has been a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but I'm done now. Have a good morning. I'm going to make another coffee.